Maryland's Governor Wes Moore recently addressed state lawmakers, highlighting the need for Maryland to become less dependent on federal jobs. This call comes as President Donald Trump pushes for significant cuts to the federal workforce, which is vital to Maryland's economy. During his speech, Moore pointed out the state's serious budget issues, including a $3 billion deficit, and described the current situation as two major challenges hitting the state at once. Moore, a Democrat who is gaining attention as a potential future presidential candidate, compared the budget crisis and the new federal administration's actions to two storms that have struck Maryland. He expressed concern about the unprecedented fiscal challenges the state is facing, which he believes are reminiscent of the Great Recession. He also criticized the new administration in Washington for creating uncertainty and chaos, which he feels adds to the difficulties Maryland is already experiencing. The governor noted that Trump's early actions, such as a federal hiring freeze and a buyout plan encouraging federal workers to leave their jobs, have sent shockwaves through Maryland, a state that heavily relies on federal employment. He emphasized that these moves could harm the middle class, which is already struggling with rising inflation. Moore lamented that these actions represent a significant shift in the long-standing relationship between Maryland and Washington, D.C., a relationship that has historically been supported by leaders from both parties. Despite these challenges, Moore expressed hope for collaboration with the new administration and the Republican-led Congress to strengthen the partnership between Maryland and the federal government. He believes this partnership has benefited people across the country for many years, regardless of political affiliation. However, he also warned that if recent policy decisions are any indication of what's to come, Maryland might face harsh realities instead of the clarity and vision it needs. Moore pointed out that Maryland, Virginia, and Washington, D.C. together account for about 20% of the nation's federal workforce. In Maryland, federal employees make up about 5.7% of the state's total employment, which is significantly higher than the national average of 1.9%. The federal government also plays a crucial role in supporting local businesses, with federal procurement contributing $42 billion to Maryland's economy in 2022, which is about 10% of the state's GDP. To address the budget deficit, Moore has identified three key industries he wants to focus on for future growth: life sciences, information technology, and aerospace and defense. He believes that by diversifying the economy and reducing reliance on federal jobs, Maryland can better support its middle class and create a more robust economic environment. However, Maryland Republicans argue that the state's struggles are not solely due to federal policies or the new administration. They claim that the real issues stem from the expensive policies and overregulation enacted by the Democratic supermajority in the state legislature. State Senator Steve Hershey, the Maryland Senate Minority Leader, stated that families in Maryland are facing financial difficulties due to these local policies rather than the actions of the federal government. In response to the budget crisis, Moore has proposed a new budget for the upcoming fiscal year that includes higher income tax rates for individuals earning $500,000 or more. He also plans to implement around $2 billion in spending cuts across state government. The proposal suggests a new tax rate of 6.25% for those making over $500,000 and a 6.5% rate for those earning more than $1 million. Additionally, an extra 1% tax would be applied to profits from the sale of stocks and other assets for incomes exceeding $350,000. Moore claims that 82% of Maryland residents will either see a tax cut or no change in their tax situation, along with a proposed reduction in the state's corporate tax rate.